Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't fucking know.
Right.
I'm a comic, man. If you watch TV, it's kind of like now you're more accessible to watch TV because you can watch Netflix and Hulu. When I first got into comedy in the early 90s, I just stopped. Like TV had become something that I never watched. I had one in my apartment, but I watched like the news at 5. Like I didn't know what TV shows were on. I didn't watch TV till I came out here and I got called in for NYPD Blue. And I said, I should fucking watch it before I started auditioning for this shit. And I watched it, and that was the first time I had watched TV in like 8 years.
It's so funny. I didn't watch TV at all. I didn't even have a TV until I met Rich. Rich came to my apartment in LA here, and he bought me a TV. That was the first. Obviously I'd been at other people's houses. I watched TV a little, But when I came to LA and I started having meetings with these executives, and they'd say, "What TV show do you like?" And I'd say Murphy Brown or something. I don't know. I didn't know what to say. I've never, I would say just weird things that I'd heard. I don't even think Friends was on yet, or anything.
When did Friends come on?
I think like 97 maybe.
Yeah, if you did Friends, you became a star. Aisha Taylor, that's how she...
Yes, right.
Aisha Taylor. So there were certain shows that if you did those shows, that weekend...
94.
Yeah, that weekend you were hot. That weekend you were hot.
I could have said Friends.
Yeah, that weekend you were hotter than a pistol. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
But like I told you before the show, I'll never forget, there used to be a group of comic girls that used to go to the Improv that hung out with a guy with a van that smoked pot in the parking lot behind the Improv. Like we would go to the parking lot, and I'll never forget that one night we were out there smoking pot. And that was the night I had a conversation with you, like a semi-conversation about, because you were with Sussman or something.
Yeah, that's the manager that I got when I got.
You were with Sussman at the time, and you got rid of him. Something had happened.
Yes.
We had
I had to pay him for years after I left him.
Oh, yeah.
Because back then he had actual fucking written contracts, and he wouldn't let me out of the contract. So I had to pay him 15% or whatever for years.
Yeah, he didn't play. He doesn't play at all.
Yeah. He's Rogan's manager.
He's Rogan's manager and Kevin James. But we were talking about something. I was just thinking about it. And that's how I got to know you a little bit. You were telling me about something you were doing. And then I just see you at
Whose
the Improv.
van was that?
Somebody that would just go there and smoke pot. And
I'm sure
20 of us would go out there and get high, and a fucking guy with a van.
If anybody
and he'd open up the back doors, and we'd sit there and smoke with the guy. And one of the girls, believe it or not, that was hanging out in those days was the girl that ended up on Chelsea lately, that she travels now. She was on the podcast talking about eating goat cheese.
Heather McDonald.
Heather McDonald, yeah.
Heather McDonald was out in those days. That was 98, 97, with her long fucking legs. And we'd start at the Improv and go to Largo.
She was always a fun girl.
Yeah, and then we'd go to fucking that Chinese restaurant, the legendary one, on that street. It's the name of the fucking street, right off of La Brea. I think it's Melrose or Santa Monica. It's a well-known Chinese place where everybody used to drink in the 50s, Steve McQueen. They just redid it. I forget now. Who the fuck knows? But I remember being in there one night, and we weren't doing comedy. We just, I was broke living in a car then.
You were?
And I was having more fun than, I was living, in front of Ralphie's house.
Oh, my God.
And some nights Ralphie would let me in. And some nights he'd be sleeping already.
Was that when he lived in that place where he had the most massive stairs? He used to live in a place where it was like the highest, steepest stairs to get up to it. And I'd be like, why, Ralphie?
No.
Why?
This is when he was still broke. This is when he was on, when we were
this was
this is when he was in Doug Stanhope's. Doug Stanhope had a friend, Andy Andrist had rented that apartment. And he went to Alaska to live with a girl. So Doug Stanhope took it over, and Ralphie needed a place to stay. Trust me, there was no stairs there. Ralphie broke the toilet 8 times in 2 years.
Oh, my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
It was a toilet for a Hollywood, It was like a condo for Hollywood bimbets in the 50s. And Ralphie's dropping 600 pounds, cracking the toilets fucking once a month.
We were going to a gig once, and the car was rubbing. He was so heavy that the car was like leaning down, like, you know, and it was like...
Was this the Forerunner?
Yeah, and he could hear it going, zzz, and he goes, I don't know what that is. And I was like, I know what it is.
Yeah, he popped the fucking springs in that car. Let me tell you something, Toyota, if you know where that car is, buy it and put it in your fucking showrooms. Like, if you go to there's a Toyota place in Denver, when you walk in the showroom, they had a car with 5 million miles or 3 million miles, something crazy. It had gone around the earth twice, and it still ran.
Wow.
They would prove, so they wanted all those cars back.
Right. Well, here's Ralphie's.
Yeah, so Ralphie, I think Ralphie's nephew still has the Forerunner. Ralphie gave it to him when he won Last Comic Standing. They fixed it up.
Yeah, because it was right before that. I remember him talking about that he'd done a pilot for the Last Comic Standing. And then I was like, it was before reality shows. So he was trying to explain it to me. We all live in a house. I was like, it sounds awful. You know, he's like, no, it's going to be a great show. I'm going to do the show.
That's funny that Jay Moore created it at the time.
Yeah.
That's how hot he was. After we got here, Jay Moore.
Well, Jay Moore was at the top of his fucking game. For a while there, he was like on every show, and he couldn't miss. He was in every movie.
Remember, they gave him first he played the agent.
Right.
And then they gave him a show on Fox as an agent.
That's why. Right.
And him and Ralphie became tight, and then Ralphie would open for him on the road. In that process, Jay Moore had a black friend that was really funny, but didn't do stand-up.
Not a comic?
No. He was a black dude that was funny, and he would bounce shit off people. Like Jay would keep him around to bounce stuff. And I forget what his name is. It was him and Jay that created.
Well, Ralphie one time.
Last Comic Standing.
I went to I opened one time in Vegas for Jeff Ross, and Ralphie was the MC. That's how long ago. And Jeff would say to Ralphie every night, "You got to do all your time before Bonnie," because he couldn't follow it. Even if Ralphie did 5 minutes after me, Jeff would have a hard time with it because he was fucking funny.
He was funny.
So he would do all his time before me, and then I'd have to go out there and eat it for a half hour, and then Jeff would go on. And every night we'd go back to Jeff's room or Ralphie's, I don't remember, but, smoke pot, and Jeff would say, hey, what about this? And Ralphie was just so good at telling him, oh, you put in your punchline before your setup, or, do that joke before you do that joke, or here's a line, just smoke, not caring about it. He wasn't, like, really thinking, and Jeff was making notes and writing it down, and he was just good at doing that. And,
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.